What's up, y'all? Aloha. Welcome to another Aloha Friday episode. Tyler Deveraux, Jackson Campbell. And, dude, excited to have y'all here with us. Let's dive right in. Let's dive right in, dude.
Dude, let's do it. Today,
By the way, those of you who are, sorry, Jay.
You're good, dude.
Who are on YouTube watching, how bitchin' is this Aloha Friday image right here? I actually took that this morning. I didn't, but Strat took it with his buddies. Nico was there too. I was nowhere to be seen because it's a shark, and get me the F out of there.
It's crazy, dude. It's beautiful. It was taken here in Hawaii, which is nuts also. Right in the water out there from, I believe it was taken in Hawaii. There's these big, massive sharks.
Yeah,
so,
they're out there.
Yeah, watch out, dude. Watch out.
How can we tie that? We're going to tie that into the episode today.
Oh, dude.
What are we talking about
We're
today?
going to tie that into the episode for sure. We're going to tie that in for sure. Today, we're going to talk about the harsh realities of being an entrepreneur. We're going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, Ty, and what your journey in entrepreneurship back in the beginning, where I'm going to have you pull up some memories. I'm going to dig into the cobwebs of your brain and pull up some memories, some feelings, and some situations and some lessons that you learned there right out of the gate of your initial jump into entrepreneurship and real estate. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Pumped to talk about it with you. And I think we're going to shine a light on a lot of things that could help a lot of people make that transition into entrepreneurship. Real quick before we do that though, GROWTHCAST, very grateful for all of you to have everybody here with us on the GROWTHCAST Monday through Friday. We have the GROWTHCAST Monday through Thursday with Dallas Pruitt, Friday with Tyler Deveraux, and then Saturday we have our extended cut episodes as well. Tune in for all those. They're very good episodes, and they will lead to growth if you listen to them and you apply the things that Dallas is talking about, that Tyler's talking about, sometimes I talk about too, things I throw in there. Definitely all of the things lead to growth and a betterment in your life for sure. So, Ty, let's dive in here, brother. Entrepreneurship.
Yep.
What did that look like for you out of the gate when you started in entrepreneurship? How old were you? Were you working with a company prior? And then you decided you wanted just to separate and go your own route and be your own boss. Like, what did that separation look like for you? That's a real question. I honestly don't know what those initial steps for you.
Well, either do I, because I think that the journey is different than most people probably think, right?
Yeah.
So I knew, like I wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to do something big. I knew I wanted to do big things, but I didn't. If I'm being honest, like as I'm going down this journey, I'm just trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like you go the different stages, right? In the beginning, you're just trying to take care of basic human needs, and if I can do that through a business, cool. But if I can do that through a job, okay, I just need basic human needs. Then you get to a point where you have those human needs taken care of, and now it's like, okay, now how do I grow within? And then it's how do I really maximize my purpose and live my purpose, right? And so this journey is a journey.
Yeah.
So my first entrepreneurial ventures were when I was 16, man. You know, starting a blind cleaning business called Supersonic Blind Cleaning, where I cleaned people's blinds. And you know what I learned from that? I learned I learned so much from that, dude. I learned that it takes money, time, effort, money, work, dude. But I also realized I'd been fired from gas station jobs and all sorts of shit because, the hours were crazy. They, would schedule me and I would miss all sorts of shit. And it's just like, it was just really rough. And it wasn't a fit though.
Yeah.
What's crazy, man, I've done so many things that I've either, quit or left or, sold off or whatever. But I started to wonder to myself, bro, if I was like a quitter. That's what I started to wonder, like school as an example. I dropped out. I did half a semester, and I was out. Went half a semester again, out, and then I was like, shit, dude, I think I'm wondering if I know how to start something and finish it.
Yeah.
But listen, dude, I know that I know how to start shit and finish it, but really what I was doing is weeding out the shit. It was a process of elimination.
You were trying to start the right thing that you didn't need to end, right? You were trying to figure out what it is that you wanted to start. Man, I love that answer. I love that answer. I want to kind of go back to one of the things that one of the very first things that you said in that answer was there is even you cover your basic human needs. Review that with me one more time because that was powerful. You have your basic human needs, and then what was the next thing?
And then you have those covered and you have a little bit of excess, and that's where people get comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not where you got comfortable though. You wanted to put you put your foot down on the gas and kept going and growing that.
Definitely.
It's awesome.
But also,
yeah,
I believe that it's a process of elimination. So many times
Yeah.
we look at, and I just heard, I think it was maybe Ed Milet or somebody talk about this, but so many times we look at what we're chasing, what we're looking to do, what we should add. But in reality, if you just sat back and were like, okay, what are the things that don't serve me? What are the things that I don't like? What are the things that aren't reaping me the results? And you just remove those. Well, man, it makes the options a lot more clear.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes the world will do that for you. Sometimes something will be removed from you. For example, I had my basic human needs met and excess for the first time of my life, dude. And we're not talking massive amounts of excess, but I had some money to do something.
Yeah.
You know, like I could buy a nice pair of shoes or a nice pair of jeans, or I could go to dinner without having to like really stress, like, is it going to be covered? Like, first time in my life. And that got removed from me.
Yeah.
It was a toxic environment though, dude. It was I hated it.
Yeah.
It was a toxic environment. I was treated like shit. But I was making money more than so I was like, well, fuck, this is what it looks like.
Is what it's got to be for
if
right
you
now.
want to have a little bit extra, this is what it looks like. But all of a sudden I got let go. And it was one of those times where I was like, why? Like, dude, like, what? Why? Because it was during, that's 2008. That's when there's not a plethora of job options. It's a tough time, dude.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle. And it's, there's multiple times throughout this journey that's made me into who I am, like always becoming, right?
Yeah.
You're never there. You're always becoming. So there's multiple pivots like this, but you're either going to create that. You're either going to create that and remove that yourself, or you'll just struggle through it and freaking weather the storm and suffer until the universe removes it from you.
Yeah. So the universe removed it from you.
Yeah, sure.
In this situation, dude, at that point, like, what did that conversation look like in your head? Like, what did you do?
At that point,
Yeah.
I never want to be in that position again. Ever.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be in a position, but this is where I love your question, because I never wanted to be in a position where somebody could just pull the rug out from underneath me.
Yeah.
Ever again. And so what I started to do is I started to, you call them side hustles if you want to, right? But I started to explore, like, where everyone else was getting, going to work, getting done with work and living there. I'm always looking for ways that I can maximize shit.
Yeah.
Like, what can I do? Like, so I started working with a web company essentially, and we would help business owners build websites. This is, once again, I'm old, bro. This is back in the day when websites weren't as easy as they were to build today.
Yeah, you needed people to help you with it.
And dude, people, like, literally people didn't have websites. They had no idea how to navigate that. They had social media, like, it was like fucking brand new. Like, Amazon was like brand new. It's like, dude, it was back in the day. Okay.
Yeah.
But I realized this, and I'm like, man, so I'm consulting business owners on how to do that, but then I'm creating a web design business on myself. So I first started selling teeth whitening gel is what I sold. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that, no.
And I remember building it, and you're marketing it, and I'm just doing all organic marketing. And trying to, because I didn't have money for paid marketing,
Sure.
Just trying to figure it out. But while nobody else that I'm working with is doing that, not nobody, but really nobody.
Yeah.
But I am, dude, because I'm trying to make sure that if I can put myself in a position that I'm not reliant on this, well, that's powerful. That gives me power.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm trying to figure stuff out. And I remember when I saw my first orders come through, I literally thought like it was a mistake. I was like, and I remember Corey Crambule.
Yeah.
I showed him. He was my logistics guy. I was like, hey, check this out, man. What is this? He's like, bro, those are orders on my side. He's like, yeah, you have orders. I'm like, oh my, holy shit. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
It was amazing, bro. I made probably $10. It doesn't matter. I was freaking geeked.
Yeah. That first win there, dude. That's huge. That's awesome. It's funny when you said, I thought it was a joke.
I did.
You saw it and you thought it was a joke, dude. My first thought was, it's funny at times in entrepreneurship when people have that success, they don't take that time to be like, oh shit, that was a W. Instead, their first reaction is,
Yep.
wait, something's
Can't be
wrong
true.
here. This can't be right. I
Yep.
can't be doing it right. It's
Yep.
not working the right way. So, dude, along those lines, what has that been like for you as you've grown in entrepreneurship and you've seen yourself win and do these things? How has that looked for you, like finding those wins and really like celebrating them the proper way?
It's a great question, man. How do I celebrate them, or are you asking me have I celebrated them?
Yeah, I guess really what I'm asking now, Ty, is do you see them? Do you see them now? Do you take the time to see them, and what does that do for you? And maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe, yeah, go ahead.
My answer is probably going to be different than maybe you expect.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have an expectation, but
I don't. This guy, I'm
in
genuinely curious.
In the beginning, anything. I was desperate in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So anything. I literally, I just said I made $10, and I'm dead serious. Like, that might have been one of the most exciting business thing, because
Like
it was the
they-
first. Like, and I know I did the blind cleaning business, but like this was, it was just different. That was, and I'd worked tirelessly, dude, for months, dude. We're talking 6, 7 something months before I saw anything. So, okay. And it was so powerful. Now, so in the beginning stages, as you're even the littlest things, it was math. I was just like pumped
So you
about
would
it.
celebrate it. You would,
Oh
you
my
would
God!
take
It's
time.
not,
So,
like
yeah.
literally not even enough to really even. It's just enough to just even keep business afloat, really.
Yeah.
Right. And I was so pumped.
It's awesome.
So pumped, dude. I remember another one when I landed a big client. And for my web design web hosting company. And I remember, bro, I had dropped a lot of money for me back in the day. Okay, a lot of money on taking them to golf. I had no idea how much golf was going to be. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. It was down in Vegas. I literally about shit my pants when, I was like, I hope this card goes through, and then going to dinner. But I landed that client. That was a huge win. And once again, these are small numbers, but it was a win because time, effort, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Today, it's almost like the smallest things bring me the most joy. The big things that we're accomplishing now, these big successes, these big apartment deals, this, education company. It's like, I very rarely celebrate the success. In fact, it's something that I I do need to be better on, is to really sit back and reflect on, hey, that shit just happened. In the beginning of the apartment space, anytime I'm starting something new, right? So, dude, those first couple deals, bro, like, I pray, and I've prayed my whole life. And bro, multiple times a day, I like to pray. But back in the beginning, bro, I prayed multiple times a day. I feel like I was saying the prayers throughout the whole freaking day. I'm not joking you.
Yeah.
And it was all about these specific deals we're working with. I would ask like friends and family to fast. And if you don't know what that means, it's just like giving you. Well, hopefully you know what that means. Good Lord, fasting. You don't eat or drink for a certain amount of time. But I would ask people to do that on my behalf, dude, because that's how I'm like, hey, this is what I'm working on. I really
that important
believe.
to you?
Yeah. Would you mind?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just like, people would do it. And so I was so cognizant of it all. And now though, where it's, there's a lot of comfort, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
I don't find myself doing that as much. And I don't like even saying that, dude, because it makes me feel like, well, that you're not as grateful, and I never want to. I'm a very grateful person. I always want to be grateful.
Yeah.
So actually, I love this conversation because it's reminded me that I need to really sit down and consciously celebrate those things.
Yeah. I know you have. And I know sometimes it does slip. I mean, it slips away from everybody, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it slips away from everybody to celebrate those wins. I remember having a conversation with somebody about, it was another high-level individual talking about raising the bar for yourself and setting that bar for yourself. And oftentimes with high achievers and high-level individuals, they raise that bar before they even get to the bar. So the bar's always getting pushed.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you never really like hit the bar or the goal or the expectation that you set for yourself. So there is times where it is hard to celebrate because you're always doing that as well, dude. So I understand that. I think for everybody falls in that trap of, when do I celebrate? When do I not celebrate? When is this just supposed to be something that I'm supposed to do that I really shouldn't be celebrating. It's just a step in the path. But dude, when you do take those times to celebrate, because I know you do, I know I've celebrated with you on wins that we've had together. What does that do for you in your work, in your entrepreneurship? What does taking the time to celebrate do for you?
Reignites me, man, and it brings gratitude. So it reignites me through gratitude, right? It reminds me of the work that we're putting in. It reminds me of the progress that we've made. I say that one of God's greatest gifts is is reflection. And I say that because when I reflect back on certain things, my gratitude magnifies so much because I see how much my life has changed, right? Like, dude, I just went to the dentist before I got here, and they hit me with filling here, filling there, whitening here. You got to do this here. You got to do it's a couple grand. And I'm like, cool. Hey, do you mind just swipe it? Can I just sign? I got to roll. And then I get my truck, and I was like, that was a couple grand that now as I'm reflecting back, it's like that person was super uncomfortable to even have that conversation with me. But I literally didn't even think about it. Mm-hmm. It's like that. It's a couple grand. But I literally sit in the car. I'm like, oh, my God. I remember when that would have wiped me the fuck out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Right.
Gratitude. So it amplifies my gratitude, which amplifies my energy, which then amplifies my production. But what I do not allow myself to do,
so good.
I do not allow myself to stay in that celebratory state because that will make me comfortable. Yeah. That will make me feel like I've arrived. That will make me feel like, and I'm just not, I won't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. That is because of a trauma that I've experienced throughout my life. Okay.
Yeah.
You ready to get into a counseling session?
Dude, if you want to dive into it, I think it'd be beneficial for people to hear for sure.
Sometimes, man, your traumas can hold you back from achievement, and sometimes they will propel you to achievement, but eventually
to a certain point. Right?
To a certain point. That's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
And that trauma is, dude, a trauma usually is sometime that you felt like you were something that you weren't safe, honestly.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Maybe that's a trauma with a parent that was abusive, or maybe that's a financial trauma when you didn't feel like you had the financials. Mine was both. My mom was super abusive. Kidding, Mom. I'm kidding. Okay. She'll hear that and she'll beat my ass because she's abusive.
The sweetest lady, dude.
She is so damn sweet. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's not something to joke about, Mom. But seriously, dude. But my trauma was more around lack. It was lack, man. I saw just financial struggle.
Sure.
And what I'll say, so lack of finances and also lack of my biggest trauma, as I've like really looked internally and looked, is I just miss my dad. I still miss him to this day, and he's here, and I need to do better at reaching out. But I just, as a kid, dude, I just missed him deeply. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And so that was a trauma, and then also the lack of that, and then the lack of financials. And so how I overcompensate is control. I want to control situations, right? Mm-hmm. And meaning financially, I don't know if I'll ever get to a point where I really will allow myself mentally to just feel like I got it, to feel like financially we're good, don't stress. And it's not that I stress, but it's don't continue to pursue. That's a better way to put it, because I don't stress. But I will tell you that I create, maybe I do stress. I create situations in my life that will continue to stress me, to continue to move me.
Yeah.
And that, once again, that's healthy to a point, and then you have to remove, right?
Yeah.
So I guess my point is, whatever it is that you can find that will fuel you in the beginning, find it, dude.
Use it. Tell yourself stories around it to fuel you, man. I believe so many people want to be comfortable before they really are even remotely in the position to be comfortable. People want to have everything before they really have it. So this is where I want to lead with this. This is why I want to lead with this. So good, dude. Thank you for diving into this, bro. So good.
You asked, man, did I have a job? Did I have different jobs before supplementing fully into entrepreneurship, or how did that work? And bro, what I did is I was conscious. I was very definiteness in my aim. I believe that definiteness of purpose eliminates distraction. That's what it is. And so when you're definite within your aim, then you can be definite within your actions, right?
Yeah.
And so what would happen is I would see things that would be potential. Like, for example, the internet side. I saw that could be huge. And so what I started to do is I started to get a W-2 job, a job where people would pay me money to work for them and provide massive value for them, bro. Like, I'm not just there to leech. It's not how you do it. I'm there, dude, because I want to provide massive amounts of value, because I know that as I do that, number one, I'll make more money. And number two, I'll learn more, man.
So much.
Because the more you grow, the more you will learn, man. I knew that I wanted to learn how to do that. And so I'm in there providing value, doing shit that other people won't do.
Yeah.
Doing shit that other people will not do, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're creating different tracking reports. I remember, dude, staying up. Dude, I remember for probably about a 2-week period, I stayed up. Brittany would go to sleep. I would stay up until about 4 a.m., go to sleep. Brittany would wake up at 6, have to go to school or work or wherever, and I would usually drive her or take her. I'd make her breakfast as she's getting ready at the bare minimum. And then when she'd leave, I'd sleep for a couple more hours. Then I would get back into the grind. What was I doing? That wasn't anything to do with my regular work hours. It was, or even my business. It was all how I could provide more value into the job that I had that I knew would ultimately amplify my business. And then what would happen is then real estate, same thing. I started to make money actively to help me grow things passively. That's how everything started to really flourish with entrepreneurship. And guess what? I still do that to this day. I still have active income that funnels into passive income. Right? Like, if you look at the education side of our business, that's a very active side of my income.
Yeah.
It takes the far majority of my time. I have tons of fulfillment from that, though, which is why I do it.
Sure.
It's in line with my definite major purpose, realm. But what does that education side fuel? My investment side. And what does that investment side fuel? Dude, my financial freedom. I don't have financial freedom from the education side. No. I have financial freedom from the investment side. Right.
All right, dude. So good, bro. Thank you so much for breaking all that down from goals to like celebrating your wins to traumas to even to what you just explained now, dude. It's so valuable and so much good stuff in there. There's so many questions that I want to ask. I'm really just trying to decide which question I want to ask. But like, if we back up just a little bit back to the trauma and the celebrating the goals, dude, what I got out of that, I just wanted to pull out of that, is that you really have to take your celebration time. If you're going to really celebrate and do it, at least for you, from what I picked up, was that celebration time is also reflection time. It's also reflection time on why should you even be celebrating this? Like, what did this actually do for you in order to celebrate? Yeah. I say that, dude, because I don't know if I accidentally celebrate that way, but that's how I've celebrated, dude. Is every time like I celebrate something, I celebrate in the way that I'm going back to what my why is and reconnecting with that why and having that reflection back to my why. So as I'm celebrating, or as you're celebrating with why you're doing what it is that you're doing, so that you can get back to doing what you were doing for your why.
Totally.
So, dude, it was very cool how you explained it, dude. It's taking that time to reflect back and enjoy it and remember why you did it. Dude, it's so good. It's so powerful.
It is. Can I tell you you saw? I don't know if you saw my face as you're doing it, because I'm like literally thinking as you're saying it. Do you know what I think I actually do? And what's funny is I just told Jackson and Strat and Nico before we even started this that, and I didn't know what we were going to talk about today. I didn't. Yeah. I walked in the door from the dental appointment. We sat down. We were ready to roll.
It's been one of our most free flowy type episodes for sure.
But I said that I want to start documenting more, and I am. I already have started to do this, but document more of how and why I do things, right? Literally everything. And as you're saying this and you're asking me these questions, bro, do you know what I celebrate more than the wins is I celebrate the failures. I do. I celebrate the failure. I know that sounds weird.
No. Dive into it. It doesn't sound weird.
Because for the longest time, bro, I was terrified to fail. Like, I would have rather not known success than to know failure, which is a massive price to pay. And so I would remove myself from situations that provided an opportunity for me to fail, which, by the way, the most beneficial experiences of your life come from failures. And so when I say I celebrate my failures, and what I mean by that is just struggles, things that didn't go perfectly. I celebrate those because I reflect back on a time when I wouldn't put myself in a position to fail and remind myself, hey, man, you put yourself in a position to fail, and failure is synonymous with growth, dude. Like, you have to be able to do that. Really, you do. Failure is a misunderstood step of success. And so you put yourself in a position to do that. You were courageous enough to do that. So now you can grow from it. You can learn from that. Whereas in the past, you wouldn't have. And then if you think about it, when do people usually get the most stuck? After a struggle, after a trial, after something like that. So I don't know if I've consciously done this, or maybe that I haven't, because I don't even realize that I did it until you were starting to talk to me about this, which is celebrating those failures to continue to make sure that I'm now motivated to continue to put one step in front of the other. Because it's easy to do. It's easy to stay motivated when shit's going good. Mm-hmm. It just is, man. It's like, fucking let's go, man. Shit's easy.
Right.
But when you get fucking sideswiped, embarrassed, like you look dumb, you effed up, you let people down, it's like, whew. Those ones are a check. But those are also your biggest learning, growing opportunities, man, ever.
Bro, that's so good. It's so good. It's so, man, celebrating those failures, like what I just got from that is celebrating those failures, because those failures is what's making you become who you need to become in order to achieve the goal that you're setting out to achieve, right?
Yep.
It's like these failures shape you.
They shape you
into, right, these learning lessons. So that's truly, honestly, what you should be celebrating.
Yep.
Are those milestones of that change in your life of who you are and how you go about business or whatever it is you're trying to achieve that goal. That's what you should be celebrating, is that change in yourself and the way you're doing things, because that's ultimately what failure brings, right? Is change.
Yeah.
Is growth, is change, is doing something different. So when you fail, you change, you do something different, you become a new version of yourself that gets you closer to your goal.
Yep.
So really, you should be celebrating, dude, which is what you're trying to get to your goal, because you want to be that person that's worthy of that goal.
Yeah. Say that again.
You're trying to get to that goal, but in the process of getting to that goal, you're trying to become the person that's worthy of that goal.
Yep.
So these failures is like a check mark in becoming that person that you need to be.
Yes.
So that's what you should be celebrating. That's such a good perspective,
It's
bro.
one of the best things you could have on your resume, man, are those things. And I look at growth and how you truly grow, and how you become that person, is that person you're trying to become, is to recognize and realize that future person is a real person. So, dude, show some love. Be cool to the future version of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, show some love to the future version of yourself. And how do you do that? By going through the fucking mud today so that they don't have to tomorrow. But guess what? They'll still go through mud. It's just a different type of mud. Then they'll be stronger. It's honestly probably going to be deeper mud. It's probably going to be thicker mud.
Yeah.
But they'll be stronger because you made sure today that they were. Dude, can I actually read you? I just read this in my book today. Can I read it to you?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I love that the way this episode's crafted. While you're pulling that up, we're talking about the harsh realities of entrepreneurship. And this is one of the, if not one of the most harsh realities, is that those failures are just going to be as beneficial, if not more beneficial for you along your journey, and becoming who it is that you're trying to become to attain what it is you're trying to obtain, than those failures.
Yeah.
Nothing more powerful that's going to help you get there, and really what you should be celebrating. And that's it could be a harsh reality for people diving into entrepreneurship, for sure.
And that is what I want people to take from this. If you take anything from this episode, if anybody takes anything from this episode, it is that this shit's hard, man. There's challenges, there's discomforts, there's trials, there's failures, there's embarrassments, those are some of the best things you can experience, man, because they propel you.
It's so funny. You say all these really, really hard things that most people would run the other direction. The next words you say are, those are the best things that could happen to you.
Totally, because they fuel you, dude. They ignite. They either fuel you or they ruin you, right?
Either way, they shape you.
Yeah.
They change you.
And how do you determine the shape?
You get to decide that.
You get to decide
You
it
get to
by the
decide
perspective that you take, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I read today. The truth, I thought I was going to cough. The truth is that there is no way to escape discomfort. The truth is that there is no way to escape discomfort. It finds us wherever we are. But we are either going to feel uneasy pushing past our self-imposed limits, breaking boundaries and becoming who we dream of being, or we're going to feel it as we sit, listen to this, or we're going to feel it, that discomfort, as we sit and mull over fears we fabricated to justify why we refuse to stand up and begin. Okay. Fear is not going to protect you. Action is. Worrying is not going to protect you. Preparing is. Overthinking is not going to protect you. Understanding is. You have to recognize that your actions will generate the results that you want because and the results that you desire and the results you're going after, because those actions are creating your habits. Those actions are creating your habits, right? So the most monumental things in my life are not, and I said this in the beginning, but they're not the things that I've added on. It's usually the things that, or some massive opportunity. It's really these small micro opportunities to better myself, something that I've removed, right? So this relationship that's not serving, remove it. This relationship that is serving, freaking pour into that thing, dude. This opportunity to grow by reading and understanding and applying and bettering my morning routine and bettering myself physically and mentally and trying. I remember I used to give Brittany so much shit for yoga. She wanted me to try, and I'm like, get the fuck. I'm going to go throw some motherfucking weights around, dude. And then I go to hot yoga, and I was like, I'm the only dude in there. I'm still most of the time the only dude in there. For being honest, it's just rare. But are you kidding me, man? That has helped me not just physically, but mentally for sure. Spiritual, it's these little things that, like, if you just do this process of elimination and you're focusing on enhancing and bettering yourself, dude, that's the best thing that you can do if you want to fuel your entrepreneurial journey. Because you have to become the whole journey, man. The whole journey, you have to continue to become that person who is worthy of what you're looking to obtain.
Yeah. And you don't become that, dude. Just to add on what you're talking about and what we've talked about entirely today, to become that person, you have to move.
Yeah.
There's got to be movement. There's got to be change, right?
Yep.
And you're talking about, like, kind of wrapping things up from the beginning of the episode. You went from your blind cleaning to online, putting together online sales and doing online marketing, right? These were opportunities that you saw, that you took, but that you didn't stop moving, right? A lot of times when I'm talking to people that are just getting started in multifamily or in entrepreneurship, that's my biggest suggestion to them is don't stop moving.
Yeah.
Don't stop that momentum.
That's a great suggestion.
Don't stop moving, right? Because, like, you blind cleaning, marketing, this, that, the other, you're all over the place, but you didn't stop moving.
Yeah.
And I believe that movement and that momentum creates other opportunities that you don't even see.
One of the things that you said, first off, as you started this episode, you said sometimes the things that I say. But I'm going to tell you one thing that you said, I think it was the last episode that I listened to, that was fucking huge. You said those opportunities are being created while you're going through the grind, while you're working. You said it more eloquently, certainly, but like while you're working, while you're grinding, while you're going, those opportunities are being created. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, my God, it's such a great way to. It's faith. That is faith. Yeah. Knowing that, hey, man, I'm doing what I can do, controlling what I can control, putting in the effort, moving, knowing that things, man, are being created that I can't even see yet, that I can't even fathom yet. It's like, that's the story that you helped me understand that we should all be telling to ourselves.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, bro. Right? Yeah, bro. And it's been huge. It's huge for me too. And it's right along the same lines of scarcity and abundance, right? If you're thinking like we're talking right now, that there's other opportunities happening for you and that you don't know exactly, you can't exactly see them, but they're there because you're pouring into what it is that you have in front of you now. Mm-hmm. That's abundance, right? Because other things are being created that you can't even see.
Yes.
But because you're giving your all to what it is that you're doing right now, you're moving, you're gaining that momentum. Dude, these other things are being created, bro. And it's been a testament in my life time and time again, dude. There's been times throughout my entrepreneurial business, working for you, working elsewhere, that it's like, oh, I don't know exactly what to do right now, but I know I got to do something.
Yeah.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
Because the minute you stop, you die.
Yep.
Dude, literally in business, literally in entrepreneurship, the minute you stop, you die. So it's always finding those new things and new ways that come up to you, that come into your lane for you to go down. But then always keeping your eyes up for those other opportunities that come down your pipeline as well, dude.
Yeah,
so,
dude. Continually moving in the direction of, right? Learning from action, not being the victim of inaction, right? But what's crazy is, like, as we take action, so these fears we have, these struggles we have, these trials we have, these traumas, whatever, right? They will either cause action in a bad way or action in a good way, right?
Yeah.
So action in a good way, cool. What happens when you take that action, you put in that work, you practice, you put in the work, well, your confidence increases. When your confidence increases, then your output will also increase, because you're more confident to put yourself out there and put in the work. When you put in the work, and you now, whether you see direct results or indirect results, as you're putting in the work, your confidence grows. You want to know why? Well, dude, because you're putting in the work. And then once again, your output follows. Like, all those things follow, right? But the same thing is very slippery on the other side. Slippery on the other side, where those fears, those traumas, those things can hold you back. And then what happens? Your confidence decreases, because your output decreases, because you ain't doing shit. So the thing that I want people to recognize, though, is when the now is magnified, stress increases. When we magnify the future, but take small actions today, right? So action today, magnify our actions, if you will, not the situation, not the circumstance, but you magnify the actions in the now, and then you magnify the situation of the future. Stress reduces, right? And action will continue to increase. But whatever you're experiencing right now, good or bad, is not because of what you're doing right now. It's something that you did or did not do 60 to 90 days ago. So don't troubleshoot shit with where you're at right here. Look back. If things aren't going good right now, look back 60 to 90 days. What were you doing, good or bad? Reflection. And if shit's going good, look back. What did I start doing 60 to 90 days ago to create this momentum?
Yeah.
And then document it and continue it. Or look back and be like, man, what did I stop doing 60 to 90 days ago that's now effing me? And you're like, oh my gosh, it's this. And there's something, I promise you. Try it. Just try it. That's your actionable, man. Go try it. And then, but how powerful this is, you identify it. Well, now you know how important that thing is, right? Mm-hmm. So what do? You add it into a habit to make sure that you don't forget. And how do you know that you're not going to forget anymore? Because you just got hurt by not doing it. And by you documenting that, recognizing that, reflecting on that, embracing that, man, now you're freaking weaponized once again to now weaponize your future version of yourself, right?
You're weaponizing your future version by taking actions now.
Yeah, because of things you
did 90 days ago. Dude, that's awesome. Man,
sweet.
Tyler, these things that we talked about today, man, are so applicable to anywhere in any business, in any entrepreneurship space, man. So the stuff that you covered today, very, very, very valuable. Any last words or any last thing you want to share here in regards to the reality of being an entrepreneur?
That it's a grind and it's worth it's worth it. It's worth it, dude. So much, man.
Dude, do you mind just like kind of saying why it's been worth it to you, dude?
Well, why do you think most people would think that I would say it's worth it?
I think most people would say, I think I know your real answer, but I think most people would think the money you've made.
Yep. And what do you think my real answer is?
I think your real answer is the relationships you've made.
Yep. And the person, especially the one with myself.
Boom.
Right?
Dude, that's mic drop for real.
But,
like entrepreneurship, though, there's so much discovery and self-work that goes on that you don't even realize is going on as you're trying to figure stuff out, dude. That's so, man.
And, bro, working on yourself is the most selfless thing you can do. Just document that. Working on yourself is the most selfless thing you can do. We have a question. We do wins and learns at dinner, and then we have a question. And the question last night at dinner was, can negativity, I think they called it crankiness or something, but can crankiness, negativity be just as, can you catch that just like you can like the flu? And we all went around the table and it was like, absolutely, dude. It's one of the most contagious things out there, right? Your attitude. So I say that because I prefaced it by saying working on yourself is the most selfless thing you can do. By working on yourself, you will be a more confident, happy, loving person, which will then breed into those around you, more confidence, more happiness, more love, more growth, more secure, all of that. So if you're miserable, well, then those around you, I bet, are probably miserable. But if you're happy and loving, I bet that those around you are a lot more happy and loving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is the last thing I want, the Hawaiian value, if you don't mind, okay?
Yeah.
I should probably just do it without putting it in, but
It's all good.
No, I don't even have it in here. But it's Kalahiki Ola. Kalahiki Ola, which Kalahiki Ola is just amplifies and shows that every day is a new day, and every day is a blessing, right? It forces you to understand that every day is a new day, and that's one of God's greatest gifts, is a new day. And I wanted to drop that here. Once again, no plan on any of this, but as we're going through this, I want to say that because, dude, you don't have to I look at a sunrise and a sunset, and I love them. I love them because the world stops for a sunrise and a sunset. People just stop, especially out here in Maui, dude. You come here in Maui and you just drive down Kihei Road, which is the busiest road right here in Kihei. But what's everybody doing? Stopped, dude. Everyone's looking at the sunset. Yep. Sunrise. People just stop. Why is that though? Well, because they're beautiful. But dude, it's God's way of reminding us that, hey, this day is closing. You can look at all the things that went great or that didn't. And then when the sun comes up tomorrow, know that it's a new day. But you can start that every day. Some people feel like that it's like they have to stay in the shit that they're in. No, dude. Every day, I really believe that one of my biggest strengths, if you will, is the ability to forget. Just push it past. Meaning removal of things that aren't serving. If I'm holding on to something and continually reflect back on shit that I fucked up that's not serving me for the things that I'm trying to fuck up in a good way, well then, dude, meaning I'm going to go kill it in a good way, right? We just want to make sure I clarify that. Well then, that's dumb. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to ask for forgiveness of myself, ask for forgiveness from my God that I love and that I know loves me, and then I'm going to start a new day. You can do that throughout the day, the middle of the day. There's no time where you can't just restart. How do you do that? Shit, man. Take 10 minutes, man. Put on an eye mask, whatever it is, and close your eyes and wake up and restart. Every day is beautiful, man. And when we do that, we become more grateful. We become more purposeful. We become more loving. We become more serving. We become more. Period. We become more by just recognizing the beauty of a new day. Kalahiki Ola, man. Beautiful Hawaiian value principle that I love.
And it's right in line with what we talked about today, man. Again, entrepreneurships, it's a rough road. Dude, it is. There's a lot of challenges that pop up, but it's a beautiful road too, dude. Beautiful. It's a beautiful road. So Ty, thank you so much for sharing some of those personal experiences with us, dude, and those lessons that are learned there. Very, very powerful, man. So
thank you for pulling it out of me,
homie.
You,
bro.
I appreciate you for helping me through the journey, dude.
Of course, yeah, man. My pleasure, dude. My pleasure.
Grateful.
Yeah.
So all y'all out there, the grind is worth it. The things you're going through are worth it. And you are more than capable. You are more than capable. As long as you continue to remind yourself that you are worth it and that you are more than capable. So remind yourself of that always and often, and always also live always with aloha. Peace. Love. Abundance. Peace.